Joining us now is Corbin King, the co-founder and CEO of restaurant group Corbin King. And Jeremy, you own many of the most notable establishments across the capital, including the Worsley and Fisher's. Just give us a sense of what you've been through over the past week, because out and about in the capital over the weekend, it felt like there's enormous pent-up demand, back-to-back restaurant bookings for a lot of groups, but then very swift decision to plunge the capital into Tier 3. There must have been a lot of excess stock that you would have had in some of these restaurants to cater for the demand over the weekend, and then being forced obviously shut when all business ends to diners.
As you say, there's a massive amount of pent-up demand, and last night as I went around the restaurants, it was manifest. And the one thing that there was absolute agreement on is that nobody could understand why we're going this direction. I mean, you talk about the stock, etc. That's one of the smaller items. I was proven wrong because I said to my staff and other people in the trade, there is no way that the government would be stupid enough to close us down effectively at 24 hours notice, and particularly when London is about to disperse at the end of this week anyway. So I put my money on 28th of December as being the date. But I'm afraid the government was stupid enough, and one can't see rhyme or reason as to why we're put in this situation when shops are open, hairdressers are open, gyms are open. You can do anything apart from going to restaurants, and restaurants have proven themselves to be actually the safest public places in the city or indeed in the country.
A number of mixed decisions in the Tier 3 advice. Jeremy, if we take a look at that, what lies ahead, there's debate as to whether the 5 days of Christmas will go ahead, but it seems as though much of this activity will be behind closed doors in private spaces anyway, where people form bubbles. What are you planning for at this stage? Because it's clearly up for debate as to whether it happens at all at this stage.
Yeah, the restaurants no longer have any role in Christmas now. I mean, the government, of course, is saying how it's saved Christmas. Well, you know, I don't agree with the notion that you save somebody when you put them in jeopardy in the first place, and the whole way it's been handled. There's talk about a 23rd of December review, but of course, we can't possibly open for Christmas on that basis. I have 900 people booked in for Christmas Day across the capital, and across our group, and so we have to write that all off. The problem is that we just don't understand, and we're being treated like children by people who have no right to lord it up over us. I've said all along that they need to share the information, share the logic, show us how we can come out of Tier 3, because nobody has any idea, and that's why I understand the frustration of the North, who've been put into Tier 3 and of course have now been appeased by the government because they've said, why are we in Tier 3 and London's only in Tier 2? You're showing preference. What they should have done in a proper, democratic, mature society is turn to us all and said, okay, you can go into Tier 2 in the North, and London you can stay in Tier 2, but if you do not take responsibility for your actions, we will put you into Tier 3 at 12 hours notice. And then we'd have some sort of consensive participation in how the country goes forward. At the moment, it's so obvious that if you treat people like children, they behave like children. And when you try and prevent people to do something by constraint, it doesn't work. We only have to look at, for instance, prohibition in America in 1919. The whole idea was to stop the country drinking. It tripled the amount of drinking that happened in America over the 12-year period. I don't understand why people can't look at historical precedent and find a way to work with us to sort this problem out. At the moment, we just seem to be like a pinball running between a machine and totally erratically and irrationally operating.